Hi everyone, welcome to day 7 of my 12 days of interactive December dailies video series. If you're new to my channel, be sure to subscribe for more process videos and find me on Instagram for more December daily inspiration. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create this fun interactive page that is inspired by like a newspaper dispensing stand. So this basically just swivels open, this opens here, and you can pull out the newspaper of the day. So this is dated December 15th. And this is, these are some of the pieces of news that have been going around my province this week. So I just created this kind of custom newspaper that just slips into this newspaper stand here. And you can close this back up. So if you'd like to know how to create this page, then just keep watching. For this page, I did quite a few things digitally before this video, just to prep. One of the things I did was I created this COVID newsletter for my province that I live in, and I just created this on Microsoft Word, and I found like a newspaper background, just like a blank gray newspaper background, so that it kind of creates a bit of texture here, simulating a newspaper. And I just put the text of some news articles that I found about COVID in columns so that it looked like a newspaper article. I did print this double-sided. The back has just the newspaper texture, but it didn't quite print to the edge. But chances are we're probably not going to look at the back of that very often. So I'm just going to fold this. I just printed this on regular copy paper, so we just want to be a bit careful when we're scoring this in half, just because I don't want to puncture the paper. So here I have 10 3/8 of an inch. So I'll score at 5 1/8. And we'll score this into thirds as well, so that we have that folding where the columns end. So about there. And this isn't exactly in thirds, but it's close enough for me. So then just fold this over. Like so. For my for the newspaper dispensing box, I don't know what they're called, so I'll just call it a newspaper dispenser. I created some files on Microsoft Word. These are they were just really quickly put together. Basically what I did was I created some red colored shapes, and this red matches the red that I use in my other spreads and the pattern papers that I used. And some of these pieces I used the digital stamp set from In a Creative Bubble. I think it's called COVID Christmas. And I created these shapes to use with my newspaper dispenser. So I'll just give you some measurements here. This piece is 3.5 inches by 3 inches. And I have 3 of these here. I might not use all of them. The stand itself is 4 inches by 6.5 inches. I have the topper that goes on top of the stand. That is 1 5/8 inches by 2 inches. And I've cut 3 of those here, some of them just out of white cardstock, just to layer and give it a bit of dimension. And here I cut a piece that was the same width as this stand here, the top of the stand. And this just measures 1/4 inch tall. So another thing that I did to give this a more defined look is when I created these files, I did have a black outline around my shapes here, but just, you know, when we're cutting with, especially because my paper trimmer is a bit dull today, so I didn't really get clean lines. So a quick way you can fix that is to run a Sharpie marker along the edges of the pieces here. So you can see here that this edge here is showing a bit of the white core. Let me see if I can focus there. That's really hard to focus, but you can see that there's a white core there. So all you need to do is just run the marker along that edge. And that just cleans up the edge a bit so that the white core doesn't show as much when you're layering your pieces on. And so in the interest of saving time, I did do all of my other pieces already off camera. So if you've noticed that they all have black edges, that's because I've already done this step to the rest of my pieces. So the first thing that we're going to do is take our newspaper stand piece, and what I've done is I've created a box in the image itself that is the same size as this piece here. So again, that's 3.5 by 3 inches, and that's just so that I can put this piece down here. It's kind of like the bottom of the newspaper stand, and then the top will open down and reveal the newspaper that I'll have inside. So what I'll do is we're going to cut along the lines here, here, and here, and then we're going to score this mark so that this piece comes up off the page and folds down. So cutting along this line, and this line. You can either do that with a craft knife and a ruler by lining it up, or I'm just going to use my paper trimmer because I find that to be the easiest way to get straight lines. And that's just how I prefer to do it. Of course, it would be preferable if your blade in your paper trimmer was sharp. I might need to get my head in here to make sure that this is cutting on the line. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a frame inside this piece that folds down. So I'm going to make my frame 1/4 inch wide all the way around, and that includes the edge that's being scored. So just use my paper trimmer again. So as you can see, we have the shape cut out here. This folds down. I'll do that right now. And the frame is 1/4 inch all the way around. Now I don't want this white side to be showing, so I'm going to take one of my pieces here that's just red, and I'm going to cut the same shape. So 1/4 inch frame all the way around. So there we have our frame, and it can just layer on top of there, so that when it folds down, you don't see the white cardstock. So next, what we're going to do before we close that shut is I have cut a piece of acetate as well that's the same size as this card. So you can see that that matches the size, and we're just going to sandwich this between this piece here and this piece here. I'm going to be using my 1/8 inch score tape here, just to get that into the tiny spaces that I have. So my camera ran out of memory space and didn't record the next part, but basically all I did was I took those 2 pieces of the square pieces and I just layered them onto each other and put them onto the base of the newspaper dispenser stand here, so that that piece is pretty much finished, and this opens up to reveal the place where we're going to put our newspaper. So next, the top of the newspaper, we're going to take all 3 of these shapes and layer them on top of each other, just gluing them down. And we'll take that top piece and layer it on as well. Next, what we'll do is punch a hole in the center here. And these are, I think they use them for, like, they're called turn buttons. And what they are used for is like on the back of picture frames, where you could open up the picture frame and remove the picture. So I have these I got from Paper Phenomenon, and I have lots of them. So I figured I'd use one on this project here. So we have the brad, and this goes in here. And I just like to make sure that my feet are opening this way, like so. So when this goes on top, we can have this swiveled shut, or we can open it and then this will open. So next we're going to attach all of these pieces to our base page. So this is just the back of this day 14 that I have here. And I'm going to put it, it's going to be just tall enough so that it fits on the page. With just a bit sticking out, but I am okay with that. So, I'm going to apply our 1/8 inch score tape around the perimeter of this frame, making sure that we don't apply tape to this section here because that's where the newspaper is going to slide into. And last thing to do is to put our newspaper in. Alright, so that finished up our page. So this just swivels open, the flap comes down, and you can take your newspaper out to read it. I hope that gave you some good ideas on including some interactive elements on your page. If you have any questions, be sure to leave a comment down below. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe for more December daily inspiration videos. Thanks for watching!